What the fuck is up, everybody? Welcome to DFW Metal Mayhem, the most brutal podcast in the Metroplex. Wait, how can we be the most brutal if this is the first fucking episode?
I really don't know.
Fuck, we didn't think that went through. Anyway, my name is Archer, and this is my lovely co-host,
Levyon.
and we are here to do a whole lot of things with this podcast. We both are really big supporters of our fucking local scene here. We adore it to death, and the point of this podcast is to promote the local metal scene in the Metroplex, not just the Metroplex. Any unsigned band that wants to come on and promote their shit, they are more than welcome to, and we will not say no to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, we actually both have a pretty colorful history in the scene, mind you. Why don't you go first, since yours is a little bit longer than mine is.
I got you. It's, I guess it started back in mid-2013, so not too long ago. My ex-girlfriend got me into the local metal scene because a really big band that she liked that's no longer existent is Runes of the Evening. And, you know, before that, you know, I was all the big bands, you know, and I had talked to a friend of mine, you know, before he was a friend, Steven Jeter. He lived with my ex-girlfriend's brother, and that's how I knew him. And it was before a party one time at their place. We were in there talking, and this one chick was like, "Oh, Steven, you're in a band?" And he's like, "Yeah," you know, and I was kind of a dick, you know. I'm not gonna say I was, you know, like, oh, you know, fuck metal or local bands, but I just, you know, I never experienced it before, but, you know, in my mind they were inferior to, you know, your big name bands. Which is, you know, it's a little embarrassing, and now I feel like a shithead about it. And I drunkenly apologized to Steven after I heard their first show because because once you get there and listen to them, it's actually really, really good stuff. And it totally changed how I listen to music now. And it was weird as well because I actually heard his band before I met him, and I didn't realize that I was going to see a Cataclysm show at Trees back, I think it was 2012, and Runes of the Evening opened for them because Steven knew the guitarist. I don't even know, JF is what they call him, but the guitarist from Cataclysm, he knows him as a friend.
Yeah.
And so he said, "Oh, dude, open up for us." And so, you know, before I even, you know, knew of the local scene, I heard them. But so then it kind of, you know, kind of grows, you know, as you see more bands and everything. And at first, I was kind of only interested in Runes of the Evening. You know, I'd only go to shows where they were playing, and then I wouldn't really fully pay attention. It's not like I you know, only showed up for their set. I would stay for the whole thing, but I wouldn't really pay attention to the rest of the bands. But as time went on, I'd be like, "Oh, fuck yeah, this band sounds fucking awesome." And so now, you know, usually I'll still only go if there is a band that I like. But I'm trying, you know, but each time I go there, there's usually a couple bands that I've never heard of before, or I've heard of but never actually, you know, got to see. Mm-hmm. And, you know, every fucking time I go to a show, it's like, whoa, where the fuck have these guys been, you know? Fuck. Yeah, I mean, Vex. We saw Vex a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. They were really good.
And I've heard of them, and I think I might have seen them before, but, you know, I think it was during the time where, you know, I was kind of, I'm not going to say ignorant, but I wasn't really paying attention to a lot of, you know, other local bands. And they're not technically local here. They're down from Austin.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess the term local kind of stems, like, no matter where you're from. Like, I mean, like, I guess for us, like, Texas, period, is local, I guess, for us. But, I mean, when I hear local, I also think of just any unsigned band. Because technically, they are locals in their home.
They're actually signed, though.
They are? Vex?
Yes.
Wow. I did not know that.
So, Psychiatric Regurgitation. There's a couple bands.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, like, War Beast is signed. And
well, I guess what we're trying to say is a little more underground, you know.
Yeah. The guys are just starting out. Because, like, Power Trip just got signed, and they're fucking blowing up right now.
So, but still local, because, you know, the DFW area is our home.
I mean, Pantera's fucking local, technically, if you want to get into
True.
it. Like, yeah, they may be larger than life, and they cement to the legacy that hardly any other heavy metal band will, but that's fucking Texas born and raised right there. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I don't know. So I guess local does extend a little bit more. I guess my history actually stems back a little bit further than yours, but you've definitely been into it more than I have. For me, it was back in 2011. There was a battle of the bands in my high school, and my buddy's band played, and they were just a Metallica cover band. Okay, so they won because they're covering Metallica songs, like shocker, right?
Yeah.
But from them winning, they were allowed to do a bigger battle of the bands at the farmers market in Grand Prairie, where a lot of other bands played. And they flipped the switch from being a Metallica cover band to being a Trivium cover band. Woo!
That's a little bit of a jump.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a jump. And it was mainly the first and second album, Trivium, if I'm correct. So the first two really brutal ones. And I think one song off Shogun, because Shogun had just come out, I think, around that point. But anyway, there was a band they were playing called Electric Vengeance. And I've never heard of them, but I remember going into that battle of the bands like, man, my boys got this. We're going to fucking wipe the floor with all these dead losers. These guys know all the best Trivium songs, and we got it. And they played one song, and I look at everyone, I'm like, what? We're fucked. That was really good. We're fucked. And Electric Vengeance's set was really good. You can find fucking YouTube videos of that fucking show. And like, just like a fucking no facial haired little Billy, just like, and it was fucking hilarious. And I remember that night because the next day I had to take my SAT exams. I was supposed to study for them, and I didn't study for them. I'm like, fuck it, let's go listen to them.
No, I know how that is. I've experienced that.
And I mean, before that, you know, I was only a Big Show person too. Like, my first concert ever was Poison and Kiss when I was like 8 years old. And then, like, my first concert I actually wanted to go to was fucking Megadeth and Machine Head. Then I went to Mayhem Fest and a couple other shows, but only for big bands. And I never really paid attention to little bands. But I remember Electric Vengeance was the first local band that I got, like, impressed by. I'm like, fuck. And, you know, but it's crazy because after that, I didn't keep in touch. Because I didn't know how to keep in touch.
Yeah.
Because I didn't use fucking social media or anything back then. So, fast forward to about 2014. 2014 was when I saw Overkill, which is like one of my favorite fucking bands, period, ever. And they had just released the White Devil Armory album. And that night, opening for them were two bands that I'm very much big fans of today, Asylum and Exploder. And I remember
Wait, holy shit, you saw Asylum way the fuck back then?
Yes, I did. Yeah, nice. I know. Okay. Yep. Saw them way back then, it was crazy. And I remember liking them. And then Exploder came on, I was fucking floored. I really dug what they brought on the stage. And so, it was because of Exploder that I kind of started to dive in. I was still kind of like feet in only at this point, but I remember the manager of the band, Exploder, Angie, sent me a friend invite on Facebook. I forgot how she found me now that I'm trying to think about it. I forgot how. But I accepted, and she, I guess, sent me a message about them opening for Soulfly, which is Max Cavalera's other band after Sepultura. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I'll go, because I'm a big Soulfly fan. So I went, I actually bought a ticket from Angie to, support Exploder. And I guess from there it just picked up. Exploder's kind of what got me into it. And then, but again, I didn't go to any local shows, like only local showcases at this point. It wasn't until I had my surgery last year in January, where I had knee replacement surgery on my right knee, because I tore my ACL when I was younger in martial arts. And dude, I was fucking stressed. I was fucking, you already know, I was fucking eating a bunch of pain meds, and I was on this fucking machine that moved my fucking leg, so that I wouldn't get locked out. I was really fucking depressed. And I remember being like, yo, who wants to chill? I'm like, no one would want to chill. But then I'm like, okay, who wants to send me Steam games so I'm not bored? And he sent me 4 or 5. I'm like, fuck, I can't. And I'm like, fuck yeah. And then I remember, I think it was a day later or 2 days later, you're like, hey, you want to go to a local metal show? I'm like, a local metal show? What the fuck? And I was like, yeah, dude, here's the fucking flyer. And Wormchasm was one of the bands playing. And I wasn't really a big fan of black metal at that point, to be honest. I actually never even gave it a real chance. I was like, I remember my friend was like, hey, here, listen to Demu Boisier. And I'm like, that sucks. And he's like, oh.
It kind of does, honestly.
But no, because I completely shut black metal out because of that. But then listening to Wormchasm that night, I was like, fuck, they're really good. And now it's opening me up to a bunch of other ones. So really, after that, I got invested into going to local shows. But then through Angie, throughout Faded meetings, I remember when I went to the DRI show back in 2015, I saw Brandon from Electric Vengeance there, and he vaguely remembered me. He's like, dude, weren't you at the Battle of the Bands in Grand Prairie? And I'm like, yeah, I was. Oh, dude, I was Electric Vengeance. I was the singer. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks later, I wore that shirt when I went to go grab lunch, and I saw his brother, Chris, who's now the drummer of Silver Tongue Devil. He's like, oh, dude, you went to that show? I'm like, yeah. It's like, dude, that's fucking cool. My brother went to that show. I'm like, oh, yeah, they were really good. And I didn't fucking connect the pieces. They were brothers. But then on Facebook, months later, I found Brendan on Facebook from Angie, because Angie was like, who's your favorite local metal band? So I told her, I remember this one band called Electric Vengeance, and then Brendan was like, hey, what's up, motherfucker?
It's me?
Yeah. and so I added him, and he was, I guess there was a post he made on his Facebook for Electric Vengeance saying hey, if you want to buy our album, I got some, they're only $10. I'm like, dude, yeah, I'll take one. And I fucking met him at a Waffle House, and I bought it. And I saw Chris there, because Chris came with Brandon. I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
I get it. And I mean, so then, going back to seeing Electric Vengeance again after all those years, it fucking blew me away too. It was fucking amazing. If you can't tell, I'm a total fucking thrash metal junkie. I mean, I like all the genres pretty much, except for the core stuff, but unless you're Lamb of God. But I mean, so total music core for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember, being completely amazed by them. And they played in that show. They played with Exploder, so it was just really cool to see them.
Yeah.
And then the Metal Fest came, and when the Metal Fest came, I listened to all the bands that were lined up.
Yeah. So
and I made a schedule.
So this was 2016.
Yes, this was September.
Okay, yeah. That was a fucking good show.
And I remember making a list of all the bands I wanted to see, and then I circled all the ones I wanted to see the most on a particular day. So I made myself a schedule. But by doing that, that's when I fucking jumped all the way in. And now, dude, I listen to all the bands from Silo, Electric Vengeance, fucking Astenix when they are.
Oh hell yeah!
I can't wait for them to come back. Fucking Wormchasm, fucking Infidel Rising. There's all these crazy good bands.
Yeah.
And yeah, at first I was like, yeah, local metal bands are inferior for a reason. And then I'm like, no way. Because honestly, I think Electric Vengeance or Exploder or Chemicals can run circles around some of these fucking sign bands.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, fuck, dude, like, War Beast is literally the reincarnation of Rigor Mortis. Like, and Rigor Mortis was huge back in the day because Rigor Mortis played a bunch of shows with Pantera when Pantera was a fucking force in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I mean, fuck, Anademic just got signed, formerly of Splatterfish, you know? And it's just, looking back at it, the local scene has done so many great things for me personally. I'm actually starting a band, or it's actually already a band. I'm just starting a band called Tool Archer, a fucking thrash metal band. And we just released a song. I'm not going to post that in the comments. I'm not trying to self-promote here, by the way. I'm just saying, like, going to this local scene and seeing these bands made me reignite a spark to be in a band. Because in high school, I wanted to be in a band. I fucking drew out a logo and everything. It was called Tool Archer. I'm like, oh, who wants to be in this band with me? And then everyone's like, you want to be in a band? Fuck you, boy. And it's like, oh, okay. And like, I fucking got completely demotivated. But by going out to shows again, it motivated me to do it. And now here we are, dude. Like, and now that's why we're doing this. Because we feel like we want to give back to the scene in any way we can, and this is how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
By helping promote this shit. So the goal of this podcast is to, every other week, we will bring in bands. And we'll just have a regular fucking podcast. We'll promote their shit, ask them questions, find out what's going on in their life, etc., etc. Well, maybe not nothing too personal.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you know, just fucking, they're humans too.
Oh yeah.
They work for a living, they provide for families, you know. They fucking go to strip clubs and go to fucking bills and the fucking strippers' asses and shit. They're just like us. So yeah, we just want to fucking talk, level them out, human to human.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole back wall right here is eventually going to have a bunch of poster boards around this Pantera poster, and we're just going to slap a bunch of fucking local band stickers on it.
Yep.
Because that's just, because we want to promote what has given us a lot of energy, a lot of influence, and a lot of fun. It's definitely it's definitely right now one of the absolute best, like, stress relievers and escape routes for me personally. Going out to all of these shows, like, hell, I just went to one last night.
Yeah.
You know? So that's what this is all about. Now, for the state of the scene, because there's a lot of opinions on the state of the scene. A lot of people say it's thriving, and I agree that it's thriving. Because, again, we're seeing bands like Power Trip, Anademic, War Beast, Vex, etc. They're all signed. And I mean, fuck, dude, Power Trip was around for only a year. They were around for 1 year, and people were like, hey, we gonna sign you. And they got fucking signed, like that, you know? And I don't know. Have you ever heard someone say the scene was dying or that the scene was waving?
I truly have not.
Yeah,
And
you haven't heard that argument?
I have never, no, and I don't really see any signs of slowing down either. This year is going to be fucking brutal. There's so much going on this year alone that I can't see why anyone would think that
A lot of bands are releasing their albums.
Yeah.
Some bands are even doing their fucking 10-year anniversary shows this year. The the Ides of Winter is a fucking huge festival here that's going to...
Phase 2 is coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. Fuck, and then you know, the 4th year of the fucking Metal Fest will be on later this year. So I mean, there's just so much talent, and there's so many dedicated artists, and you see these guys, God, all the time. They just do their shit, dude. I fucking know fucking bands that go out on fucking Monday nights, Tuesday nights, fucking play at like 12 o'clock midnight when hardly anybody's there, just to fucking play.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, you can't find that shit a whole lot of other places.
And that's what I like too about our local metal scene is, so far, pretty much every band is out there just to play their music, to get it heard, because they know people want to hear it. They don't charge a lot. I mean, fucking $10 for a kick-ass show?
$10 for most charges, and I mean, really, if you ever get higher, it's only because there's something else really special. Like the midget wrestling show was $21.
But yeah, you had fucking midget wrestling.
Exactly.
Like, that's to cover the cost.
But yeah, but I mean, like Crop Dust and EV and Blackstone played, and they're all local.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit. I mean, and see, that's what's cool too, is that we're having all these venues that are so open, and all these touring bands are also very open to having local people on. Like fucking Brandon and them opened up for the Misfits. Fucking got paid $500 at the end of it. It's fucking nuts, you know? And honestly, that's what I think is cool, is when you see touring bands take a step back and look at the local scene and like, holy shit. Like, even Corey Taylor said a lot of good shit about Deep Ellum back in the day. Saying that, yeah, it's fucking gold mine for metal. And it is. I mean, there's so many fucking bands that played here. Dude, fucking Goat Whore played fucking Reno's. Goat Whore played Reno's. That little tiny fuck, dude. It was insane.
Yeah.
You know? I don't think that... I honestly... I've heard people saying the music scene style is like, oh, there's nothing new, it's the same shit. It's like, well, you know what? If it ain't broke, you don't gotta fix it. And honestly, everyone's already done everything. You're not gonna fucking be the special snowflake who's gonna do something different and wow everybody.
Yeah, you
what you do is you take what's been done and you make it better.
Exactly. And I mean, if you would really have to do some really bizarre, weird shit to, I guess, to stand out more.
Exactly.
But honestly, music has been around for so long, and metal has been around for a very long time. So honestly, just a lot of the music that you hear is just variations or slight differences in riffs and stuff that have already been played. And you know, it's not like it's a bad thing. I definitely enjoy modern metal for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I like some of the old stuff too, but I don't know,
I would like to see a local band like sound like they stepped out of a fucking portal from like 1974. That'd be fucking dope. I know there are some stoner bands that are like that. But I mean, like another argument for like the music scene here being vibrant is that bands come from fucking all over the place just to come to Dallas. Fucking Demons Within came from Ohio to play here.
Yep.
Fucking Final Drive comes from fucking I think Louisiana. You know. Then you have people that come like that they're not as far. Like Oberon is from Oklahoma, from Ada, Oklahoma, and they come all the way down here to play. And they literally drive here, play their set, watch the rest of the show, and then drive all the way back like that.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's another really fucking cool thing about our local scene, or you know,
it's a magnet.
Well, not only that, but you know, kind of what you're saying, you know, bands spend fuck tons of money on their equipment, you know, and then they spend a bunch of money to get to the venue, you know, time and money, to play for
30 minutes, 45 minutes at the most.
And get paid hardly anything. And they still do it all the time because they enjoy it.
Exactly.
You know, because they want to get their music heard. And I am extremely thankful for that because, you know, like Billy was, you know, he was super depressed and, you know, not a lot of shit was, you know, people were kind of abandoning him.
Yeah.
But, you know, for me, like the last part of 2016, I was in a pretty, I'm not going to say major, but a pretty big depression. And, you know, I didn't have the money to go to a lot of shows, and so this guy over here was like, nah, dude, fuck that shit.
Yeah, get the fuck over here.
Get over here. I got you know? And so going to the shows...
The way you convince him is someone else has to buy his beers.
Yes, because I like to drink a little when I go to local shows. It loosens me up a little bit, you know, so you can get a little more into it. That's at least how I am. I'm a pretty shy person, and so, you know, getting able to loosen up a little bit.
Also,
you know.
another good argument for the scene that is unrelated to the bands is the other people who are going to see the bands too. Dude, I can't tell you how many friends I've made just by going to fucking shows and shooting the shit with people for like 5 or 10 minutes while the next band is loading.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I met so many people through Brandon, and I mean, I just met a fucking lot of people. And I'm like really good friends. Not only with other people that are going to the shows, but the bands themselves.
Yeah.
I had a house party here, and I had fucking Electric Vengeance, Crop Dust, and Silver Tongue Devil. Silver Tongue Devil! Fucking playing in my fucking garage that's soundproof. And dude, fucking people from Exploder came, fucking people from Chemicals came. I mean, all these fucking people came. and it's just because I forged these fucking friendships.
That and the people in these bands treat you like people, you know? Because I've tried talking to people in, big bands from Europe or whatever, and they almost kind of ignore you a little bit, I've found. Some of them will, hey, because like the Cataclysm show, I magically got to get on the tour bus with them, and the bassist kept on going, here, dude, here's a fucking beer, and he kept on handing me beers, and so, but the rest of them, it was like I wasn't even there, they totally ignored me. In fact, the lead singer sat on me because he didn't realize I was there, sitting in the seat. But, these guys, they appreciate you coming out to the show and supporting them.
They know you by fucking name if you go out enough.
Exactly, like, this guy, he he knows a lot of people, and I know a lot of people, but I'm a little more, I'm not going to say laid back, but I'm not as...
a social man.
I'm not as social as he is, so he gets to know a lot more people, but, I get people, hey, thanks for fucking coming to our show, I saw you headbanging up front, let me buy you a drink. That's fucking cool.
It is.
Or,
Or you sweet talk them enough and you get like an extra sticker or like a little pin.
Exactly, just going, because there's been several times where, I'll just go to the merch table afterwards and be like, guys, you guys are so fucking awesome. I really enjoyed your show,
Thanks for playing.
Thanks for playing, thanks for coming out. Like we were talking to Vex because we both thought they were fucking amazing.
As I said, dude, the local scene actually turned me on to black metal.
And they're not necessarily black metal, they're very melodic.
Yeah, but I mean they're definitely down that pathway, I guess.
Yeah.
They're definitely more black metal.
There's very black in flavor to it, yes.
Yes, I mean shit, dude, like local scene is what turned me on to black metal. I mean like it's crazy like how like local music and broaden my horizons. I mean, I was already pretty broadened. It's just the black metal was doing one out of it, and doom metal too. And doom metal still is kind of out of it for me right now, depending on who it is. Not to dwell too far into that, but I mean, yeah, it's a great way to discover new styles of music. See what you like. I mean, fuck, dude. I mean, like I know people who really weren't big on thrash, but they fucking heard Chemicost. Or fucking KTCM, or fucking Exploder, and we're like, wow, holy fuck.
Yeah.
It fucking opens you up to it. And then eventually when you listen to people that sound like them, it kind of brings you more in the comfort zone. Because, when I listened to Wormcasm, it's like, wow, that was good. And then, but I'm like, it's still black metal's kind of F for me. But then listening to Sparrows, I was like, what the fuck? Oh my god! And now I am I guess I can't call myself at least a casual fan of black metal. Mm-hmm. It's not like just a once in a blue moon thing. Like I can put it on a regular playlist and be completely fine with it.
Yeah, and I think that's why because we usually go to shows. We try to go to shows together. Sometimes we can't, money or busy or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I'm not gonna say we're opposites, but we both definitely have a very unique, a difference in what we enjoy. You like a lot of, thrash.
Thrash is my
death, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, thrash is my main.
But
I'm pretty fine with everything else. But thrash is definitely like up there, at the top.
Whereas I come from a very black metal background as well as some death metal, like
extreme death.
Yeah, when I was like 13 years old, I found an internet radio station on iTunes called Brutality Radio.
Yep.
And they played fuck tons of just like underground grindcore and like brutal death metal and stuff like that. And I was like, whoa!
Some like internment level shit.
Yeah, exactly. Really lo-fi.
Yeah.
But so for me, it's a lot of like death metal but mainly black metal is what I'm into.
Yeah.
But we kind of are in agreement on death metal as kind of like something that we can really both get into.
Oh hell yeah! Especially with bands like Aesthetics, or Cesspool Corruption. Mm-hmm. Definitely are two really prime examples. Fucking Interment's a really good example.
And they're old school and they've been around forever.
Fuck yeah! Like fucking there's a video of them playing in 1994. The year I was fucking born, dude.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
And not to be mixed up with the Swedish death metal band Internment.
Yeah, we actually have a local band called Internment. And like Gruesome Fate, fucking Rabbit Flesh Eaters have been around since 1986. But I mean, it's just so wild. And so this podcast here is dedicated to showcasing this. So as I said, every other episode, so I guess for example, next episode, we will have a band on this podcast. So think about odd number episodes just being me and Levyon talking about random topics that we have come up with. For this is just the pilot, so this is just an introduction and like what we like about the scene and whatnot and what have you. But when we get to band episodes, what we're going to have is, once we finish out the podcast episode with them, the conversation we want to have, promoting their stuff, asking them questions, I will take them into my garage that is soundproofed, and they will play one song, whatever they want to play, and we will throw that at the end of the episode so that you can hear what we hear all the time, and that you can treasure what we hear. Because believe me, we're not selling you short when we hype this up. I mean, even the bands that I particularly was not a fan of watching, I would still go out and watch because they were very talented musicians. You know what I mean? I can think of a couple bands right now. I'm not going to say their names out of respect, but pretty much I've never seen a band play where I'm like, I'm never going to see them again. I mean, unless it was obviously like a core band, because I'm not really in the core.
Yeah.
But I'll still go out. And if they're playing on the same stage as another band that I like, I'll go up there and I'll fucking just, bob my head a little bit and fucking show them that, yeah, dude, thanks for playing.
Yeah.
It's just a respect thing. And I mean, as I said, but even if I don't like core, that doesn't mean nothing, because I'm not going to say no to any local band.
And exactly, because we want to promote you guys, or the scene. And
if you are watching this and you aren't a band, then yes.
Even if you're not particularly in a band that we, would typically listen to, we still want to have you on.
Personally, that's hard for me because, as I said, core is like the only genre that I'm not really a fan of.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking metal slut, pretty much.
I can definitely agree with that. Because I know there's a lot of bands that, we wouldn't be interested in, but honestly,
for every one band that I saw that I was not a fan of, there's like 15 that I'm like, wow, yeah, they're good. So, really that ratio is very small for me, personally.
There's just so many good bands. Like, honestly, I truly don't mean to sound hipster about it, but I actually prefer the local music more than I do the big bands, and it's kind of been a transition to the point, where I was saying, fuck local bands, they're local for a reason, going to where I am now, where I still listen to big bands and stuff like that.
I definitely haven't made that pathway yet, because I would still go to a fucking, I chose to go to Gojira over Electric Vengeance, Silver Tongue Devil, and a couple other bands on the Metal vs. Punk night versus seeing Gojira live at fucking Gas Monkey Live promoting Magma. Yeah, I totally went to Gojira.
Yeah.
So I guess I haven't quite crossed that path. I don't think I ever will, but I have definitely grown an appreciation for the local metal scene. I definitely put them on par with some of the touring bands. Still, like bands like Pantera and Overkill and Megadeth will be like my all-time favorites no matter what. But man, oh man, I'll tell you what, some of these local bands fucking deserve to be signed. And on that same stage, they really do.
Yeah,
and that's what we're going to try to do. We want to try to do make just another part in trying to help any band get to that level, if that's what they so want.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Exactly.
The metal scene has done so much for me that I feel like this is me giving back. And me also doing my band is also a way to getting me back. And I already have a fucking show booked. It's crazy, in April. So this is just me giving back. And I'm happy that I'm able to give back. And I'm happy that we have a platform where we can do this.
Yeah, we really just are very enthusiastic about the scene, and we want to promote it. We want to get people to know about it because, you know, unless you have a friend or something that drags you to a local show, you may never ever hear local bands and, you know, truly have the chance to appreciate them.
Yeah. And going into that, this is not just for local bands either. We will not just have bands. I want to have figureheads on here too, like promoters, show organizers, any local radio hosts that kind of do what we do here, like people from the Dungeon or Metal Nation,
Yeah.
or fucking Joseph from fucking Dallas, the Dallas Metal Scene Productions.
Yeah, DMS, yeah.
I mean anybody, even the fucking crazy kid in Arlington that fucking gets on that Papa's Murphy sign and fucking headbangs and shit. It's a fucking icon, and he's like 15 minutes on the goddamn road. Like, I'd have him fucking here.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, just really, you know, like you said, influential people, that, and just, you know, people like...
That get the gears moving here.
Yeah, I'd even be okay with getting some of our local bartenders in here.
Yes.
You know?
Especially if they bring their strings.
But, you know, there's just so much potential, I think. I don't think anything bad's going on with the scene. I don't think it's taken a dive or anything like that.
No, and I mean, of course, we do have some less than favorable people out there, but that's with anything.
No, there's always a bunch of...
And you know what? I'll even have those controversial people on here. I will. Because if they're controversial for a reason, maybe we need to dive into that. Who knows?
Get their side?
Why not? I mean, I want to play completely neutral on all of this. I just want to promote. I just want to let people's voices be heard, let their music be heard, and let the scene speak for itself. And the scene will have another voice right here on DFW Metal Mayhem. So next week we will have a band here that will give us their fucking grace. It's crazy. I already have bands lined up to fucking April. It's cool. And as I said, this is just the beginning. This is just the pilot. Next episode, we will have a band on here. I will not reveal who that band is yet. You have to find out on our Facebook. We have our Facebook page, DFW Metal Mayhem. You can also find us on YouTube, on SoundCloud, and on Twitter. The Twitter and the Facebook are interlinked with each other, so anything I post on the Facebook page will be posted on the Twitter. So you can find out who the next band is going to be on there. And I'll even ask some questions that we can, like, that you guys can answer to, and we can fucking have a talk about it on the podcast for the non-band episodes. And that's what all that's about. So make sure you find us at those links. All those links will be in the description of this video down below, except the YouTube, because most people will be seeing this on fucking YouTube. But the Facebook page, the Twitter page, and the SoundCloud handle will be here. And one more thing I do need to mention is for the SoundCloud users. You will be hearing the same things that the YouTube people will be listening to. The difference is that you are not going to get the video visual, and you will not be able to hear the song the band will play. If you want to hear that, and if you want to see us, you have to watch the YouTube video. But hey, you have the freedom to do what you want, and that's why I made the SoundCloud. So until next week.
Real quick.
Okay.
And we still have to talk about a lot of this, but what we might do on our Facebook page and even Twitter is, you know, if you guys have questions that you might want to ask either us or the band, you know,
wow, okay.
That way you guys can kind of have a direct input in interactivity, I guess. With,
that'd be
this
fucking
podcast.
fantastic. Yes, we would definitely appreciate that, especially for this next man, because these guys are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even going to go into it. I kind of want to tease people. We already know who it is. And I'm definitely excited to have these guys on. They're a very wild bunch of people.
Yeah.
They're very nice, respectable people. I mean, even people who aren't fans of their music still say they're great musicians and that they have really good chemistry. I've never heard a negative thing about this band in my life, and I don't think I ever will. So I'm excited. So, once again, guys, thank you very much for listening to us. We greatly appreciate it. Support your local metal scene, and we will see you next week.